Okay, let's start with the first question. It's a question based on time and work. Two men and three boys can do a piece of work in 10 days, and three men and two boys can do the same work in 8 days. So basically, this question is based on the men days. The way we can say that men in days, the product of men in days is constant, women in 2 days is constant. Similarly, the product of group in days will be constant. Two men, three boys, they need how many days? 10. There's one more group which contains three men and two boys. They'll take how many days? 8. So I'll equate them. This will give you a relationship between the efficiency of men and women. This will give you 20 men, this will give you 24 men. So 4 men is equal to 30 boys, and this will give you 16 boys. So 30 minus 16, that is 14 boys. So 2 men are equal to 7 boys. This is a relationship. Now what do you want to find? That in how many days can 2 men and 1 boy can do half the work? Let's assume that the work is full. So 2 men and 1 boy, they will take x days. So I'll say into x. Let's equate this with any of these equation, any of this term, either the first case or second case. If you equate it with first case, this becomes 2 men plus 3 boys and 10 days. These 2 men can be replaced by 7 boys, so effectively this group will have 8 boys. 8 boys will take x days. This is also what? 2 men and 3 boys. 2 men can be replaced by what? 7 boys. 7 boys plus 3, 10 boys into 10. So this will give you x equal to 100 by 8. These many days are required if the work is full, but I need to finish only half of the work. Now half of the work will give you how much? 12.5 days is for full, so for half it should be 6.25 days. So your answer becomes third option. It was a very easy question. What's the next one? A man can do a piece of work in 10 days. He starts the work on Monday, and on each successive day, starting from second day, a man of half the efficiency of the man who started working on the previous day joins the existing member. On which day in the week will the work be completed? Let's say a man can do 1 unit per day. So in 10 days, one man can do 10 units. That means the total work is equal to 10 units. The very first day, one man will work, he'll do 1 unit. Next day, one more person will join him, but the efficiency of that man would be half. So first person will do 1 unit and second person will do zero point 0.5. So this will become 1.5. Then third day, I'll say first person 1, second person 0 0.5, third person 0.25. Fourth day, say 1, 0.5, 0.25, 0.125, and so on. So this is first day's work, second, third, fourth. If you want to avoid these decimals or fractions, do one thing. Assume that the total work is 64. One man can do 64 units of the work in 10 days. So, or 640 units. So if he can do 640 units in 10 days, that means total work is 640. Why I am taking 640, I'll explain it to you. If one man can do 64 units in one day, in 10 days he can do 640. That means the total work is 640 units. So the first day he'll do 64 units. Second day he'll do 64, and the second person will do only 32. Third day's work 64, 32, and third person work will be exactly half of 32. Fourth day it should be 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8. Fifth day 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, and so on. So let's try to calculate these values. This was 64. Next day what you'll get? 96. Then you'll get 108. Sorry, 96 plus 16, that is 118. 112. You get 112 here. Then 112 plus 8 will give you 120. Then the next term will be how much? 124. After that, after this days, fifth day, sixth day, I'll add 2 more here. So that will give you 126. Then next day I'll add 1 more. So that will give you 127. Will I get 640 here? Let's look at this. This will give you 160, 160, and this 120. This will give you 280. 280, the sum of these two will give you how much? 250. So 280 plus 250, that is equal to 530. And when you add 112 here, 112, that will exceed 640. That means your work will be finished on this day. You don't require this one. So how many days work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They started the work on Monday. They'll say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So the work will be finished on which day? Saturday. Okay, let's look at the next one. Two friends, Yogi and Prasad, started working simultaneously from the same vertex of an equilateral triangle and worked in the same direction along the sides of a triangle. Which triangle? Equilateral triangle. It was observed that after some time before meeting first time, one of them was at one of the vertices and the other one was at the foot of the altitude from the vertex. If they keep walking indefinitely, which of the following statements will be true about their meeting points? So he's talking about an equilateral triangle. Let's say there's an equilateral triangle of side 2 centimeters each. They'll start from this vertex. We'll assume that they are going to start from this vertex. Okay. After that, what will happen? And let us assume that Yogi has a higher speed than Prasad. Yogi has a higher speed than Prasad. Now it does not matter who has the higher speed. So in that case, the following situations are possible if you refer to the data. And we'll try to calculate the ratio of their speeds also. First case, let's say Yogi will reach here. Yogi will reach here. And by that time, Prasad will reach here. Now, as I told you, that side of equal triangle is 2 centimeter. So when Prasad will reach at the midpoint of the first side, by that time, Yogi will be here. So Prasad has covered 1 unit while Yogi has covered 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the ratio of their speed should be 4:1. What's the next case? Maybe Yogi will reach here and Prasad will reach here. They've started from this point in the clockwise direction. So Yogi must have covered 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5. And by that time Prasad will cover only 2. So this should be the second case. What should be the third case? Maybe Yogi will come again at the starting point and Prasad will reach here. This could be the third case because we know that before meeting for the first time, one of them was at one of the vertices and the other one was at the foot of the altitude from the vertex. That means midpoint of this side. So Yogi has covered 2 plus 2 plus 2, that is 6, and that by that time Prasad will cover only 3. So the ratio of their speed will become what? 2:1. Any other case? Maybe Yogi will reach here. He'll take one complete round and he'll reach here. And by that time Prasad will reach here. So Yogi has covered 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, that is 7. And Prasad has covered how much? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the ratio should be 7:4 in that case. What else? We have already calculated what? 4:1, 5:2, 2:1, 7:4. Is there any other case left? Let's see. This is a triangle. Maybe I'll say that Yogi will reach here. And by that time Prasad will reach here. So Yogi has covered one complete triangle, that means 6 plus 2, 8. And Prasad has covered 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5. So the ratio becomes how much? 8:5. Any other case? Let's look at this. Maybe Yogi will reach here. And by that time Prasad will reach here. So Yogi has already covered one complete triangle plus 1.5 side. That makes what? 6 plus 3, 9. And Prasad has covered 6. So 9:6 will give you how much? 3:2. So if we look at these ratios, we can say that the difference in the ratio numbers, this one 4:1, the difference is 3, the difference is 3 here, difference is 1 here, difference is 3, difference is 3 and difference is 1. After looking at this difference, I can say that they'll either meet at only one of the 3 vertices or all the 3 vertices. That means their answer should be the fourth option. They'll meet at either at one of the vertices or all of the 3 vertices. Let's look at the next one. It's a simple question about races. What does it mean? If A beats B by 15 seconds in a 200-meter race, B beats C by 25 seconds in 500-meter race, C beats D by 32 seconds in 800-meter race, and D beats E by 35 seconds in a kilometer race. What must be the speed of A in order to beat E by 800 meter in a 2-kilometer race? So if all of them were to be compared on a 2-kilometer race, let's try to find it out. A beats B by 15 seconds in 200-meter race. So if the race is of 2000-meter race, the margin will become 150 seconds. So A beats B by 150 seconds. B beats C by 25 seconds in 500-meter race. But I know that the race is of 2000 meter, that is 4 times of this. So this margin will also be multiplied by 4. So B beats C in the same race of 2000 meter by how many seconds? 25 into 4, 100 seconds. C beats D by 32 seconds. C beats D by 32 seconds in an 800-meter race. So if the race is of 800 meter, he'll beat him by 32 seconds. If the race is of 100 meters, he'll beat him by 4 seconds. If the race is of 1000 meter, he'll beat him by 40 seconds. If the race is of 2000 meter, he'll beat him by 80 seconds. So C can beat D by 80 seconds and D beats E in the same race. D beats E by 35 seconds in a kilometer race. So if the race is of 1 kilometer, he'll beat him by 35. If the race is of 2 kilometer, he'll beat him by how many seconds? 70 seconds. Now what is the question? What must be the speed of A in order to beat E by 800 meters in a 2 kilometer race? You're looking for what? Speed. And I want to beat him by 800 meters. If you try to calculate the margin in terms of seconds, what I can say? A beats B by 150 seconds, B beats C by 100, C beats D by 80 and D beats E by 70. So A will beat E by how many seconds? 150 plus 100, 250, 250 plus 150. This becomes 400 seconds. So A can beat E by 400 seconds or he can beat him by 800 meters. These are the two informations given here. How do we solve it? A can beat B by 400 seconds. A can beat E by 400 seconds or he can beat E by 800 meters. Both the information should be clubbed here. So can we calculate the speed of A here? If A has to beat him by 800 meter, E speed must be 2 kilometer because I know that E will cover these 800 meters in these 400 seconds. So speed of E should be what? 2 meters per seconds. So speed of E should become what? He can cover these remaining 800 meters in 400 seconds. So speed of E becomes 2 meters per second. So in how much time E will finish the whole race? 2000 meters. With a speed of 2 meters per second, he'll take how many seconds? 1000 seconds. So to finish the race, E requires how many seconds? 1000. And I know that A will beat E by 400 seconds. That means A will finish the race 400 seconds less than 1000 seconds. That is 600 seconds. So A will take 600 seconds to cover these 2000 meters. So what should be the speed of A? 2000 by 600, that is 20 by 6. What is 20 by 6? 10 by 6. 20 by 3 is how much? 6.66. And 20 by 6 will be 3.33. So your answer becomes second option. Okay, let's look at the next one. It's a simple question based on percentage changes. Look at the data. The economy of Siberia consists of exactly two industries, mining and manufacturing. It was expected that the economy would grow by 18%, but if the mining grew by 10% and manufacturing grew by 20%. If the manufacturing grew by 10% and the economy by 18%, then by what percent did the mining grow? We don't know the total economy of this country. Let's assume that the total economy is 100. Out of that, A is from mining. If A is from mining, then the remaining 100 minus A will be from manufacturing. Now what's the first one? It was expected that economy would grow by 18%. Now 18% of 100 would be how much? 18. This would be just because of growth in mining as well as manufacturing. If the mining grew by 10%, now 10% of A, so I'll say 18 is just because of what? 10% of A plus 20% of 100 minus A. So if you try to calculate it, what you'll get? 0.1 A here plus 20% means 1 by 5. 1 by 5 of 100 will be 20 minus A by 5, that means 0.2 of A. So 0.1 A minus 0.2 A plus 20 is equal to 18. After that you will get what? 0.1 A is equal to 20 minus 18, that is equal to 2. So 0.1 A, so you will get A equal to 20 here. That means out of this 100, 20 was just because of mining and the remaining 80 was just because of manufacturing. Now what's the next line? It says that if the manufacturing grows by 10%, what was the value of manufacturing? 80. 10% of 80, that is equal to 8. But if you look at the overall growth, it should be 18%. Now 18% of 100 will be equal to what? 18. And this 18, 8 is the contribution of manufacturing. That means the remaining 10 should be the contribution of mining. And what is the value of mining here? We have already calculated it, 20. And I am looking for a growth of 10. 10 is what percentage of 20? Your answer should be 50%. I hope this is clear. Let's go on to the next one. The average age of a family of members having 4 members was 26 in 2004. So the average was 26 in 2004. After 2 years, a member died. That means in the year 2006. So in 2006, the average age should become 28. Of how many members? 4. So I should multiply it by 4. But one member was died. So maybe he was X years old at that time. So I'll subtract X. So this was the total age of those 3 members. And at the same time, a child was born. When the child attained an age of 6 years, that means now I'll have to add 6 years for the remaining 4 members. 3 old and 1 new. So the total age of family will become 28 into 4 minus X plus 24. If we're looking for the average age, divided by 4. And this average is already given equal to 25. So when you solve it, what you'll get here? This 4 into 25 will give you 100. 28 into 4, 112 minus X plus 24 is equal to 100. X goes on that side. This is 112 plus 24, 136. 136 minus 100 is 36. So the age of the person who died must be 36. I hope this is clear. What's the next one? It's a question of time, speed and distance. A train A leaves station P at 6:30 am. Let's say these are the stations. This is P, this is Q. The first train leaves at 6:30 am and reaches Q at 8:30. That means this train will take 2 hours. What about the next one? Another train B leaves station Q at 6 am. Leave from station Q at 6 am and reaches P at 8:48 am. That means this train will take 2 hours and 48 minutes. 48 minutes must be equal to 0.8 hours. So can we say this is 2.8 hours? Now, how long after A started the train B take to meet A? Now, we don't know the distance here. We can take it equal to D. So we can solve this question in terms of variables also. But let's assume some value for D here. If you look at this one, this is 2 hours and this is 2.8 hours. So let's assume a number which is a multiple of what? 2 and 2.8 hours both. Let's assume that the total distance between them is 14 kilometers. So first train A can cover these 14 kilometers in 2 hours. So speed of train A will be 7 kilometers per hour. Similarly, speed of train B should be 14 by 2.8, that is 5 kilometers per hour. Second train started at 6 am and before the first train starts, the second train must have traveled for half an hour. So in that half an hour with a speed of 5, second train will cover 2.5 kilometers. At 6:30 the second train will be here and first train will start from here. The gap between them is of 17 point, sorry, it's 11.5. The gap between them is of 11.5 hours. So they need to cover these 11.5 hours. How much time they'll take? The simple concept of relative speed, 11.5 kilometers with a relative speed of 7 plus 5. 7 plus 5 will give you how much? 12. So they'll take this much time, these many hours. So if you want to convert this in terms of what 7 plus 5 was 12, this was 2.5. This was how much? 2.5. 14 minus 2.5 is 11.5. So 11.5 by 12 hours. If you want to convert that in terms of minutes, what you'll do? You'll multiply it by 60. This will cancel it out 5 times. So what you'll get? 11 into 5, 55. 0.5 into 5 is 2.5. So I'll get 57.5 minutes. 57.5 minutes means which option? Last option. That is fourth one. Next one. Two vessels V1 and V2 of equal capacities contains mixtures of milk and water in the ratio of 4:1 and 3:1. This is vessel V1, vessel V2. Milk, water. This is milk, water. 50% of the mixture from V1 is taken out and added to V2. After mixing it thoroughly, an equal amount is taken out from V2 and again added to V1. The ratio of milk to water in vessel V1 in the end is how much? Two vessels V1 and V2 of equal capacities. Let's assume that the capacity is X, Y, Z, anything. But it's better to assume some values here. If you look at this ratio, it's 4:1. That means there are 5 parts. And this is 3 plus 1, 4 parts. So we'll take a multiple of 4 and 5 both. So let's assume that both the vessels contains 20 liters of solution. So out of this 20 liters, the first vessel will have milk and water in the ratio of 4:1. So I can say 16 liters of milk and 4 liters of water. Similarly, in second vessel, the ratio is 3:1. So I'll say 15 liters of milk and 5 liters of water. Now what happened here? After mixing it thoroughly, an equal amount is taken. 50% of the mixture from V1 is taken out. When you take 50% of mixture, that means you'll take 10 liters out of these two. So again, that 10 liter will have milk and water in the ratio of what? 4:1. So 8 and 2. 8 liters will go to the second vessel. How much will be left here? 8. And this will be 2 liters. And I'll add 8 here, which becomes 23. And plus 2. That will give you 7. After mixing it thoroughly, an equal amount is taken from V2. Equal amount, that means I need to take 10 liters out of this. This vessel was already having 20 liters and you mix 10 more. So it contains 30 liters now. Now what do you do? We'll take out 50%, no, 10 liters out of this. So those 10 liters will have some milk and water. What's the ratio here? Milk and water are in the ratio of 23:7. So how much milk will be taken out of this? We'll say 23 by 30. 23 parts out of 30 parts of 30. And how much will be taken from here? 23 by 7 was what? 23 plus 7, 30 of 30 liters of 10 liters, because I'm going to take 10 liters out of this. Similarly, how much water will be taken out from here? 7 out of 30 parts of what? 10. So this much will be subtracted from this part and added here. So 8 plus this will give you 23 by 3. And how much water will be added? 7 by 3. So what's the total milk in vessel V1 now? 8 plus 23 by 3. And what's the total water? It's 2 plus 7 by 3. What you will get here? 8 into 3, 24. 24 plus 23. That is 47 by 3. Then water. 3 into 2, 6. 6 plus 7 is how much? 13. 13. This is 6 plus 7, 13. 13 by 3. Now what do you want to calculate? Ratio of milk to water in vessel V1 at the end. I hope something is wrong here. It should be 47 and 30. Already I was having how much mixture here? Let's look at this again. There should be a correction. This should not be an equal amount. This should be what? Just a second. 50%. This should be what? 50% of quantity from V2 should be mixed. If you add 50%, that means this will become what? 23 by 30 of 15, and this will become again 15, because I'll take half of the quantity out of this 30. So this will give you 23 by 2. So I should make 2 here, and again I should make 2 here. So this becomes 23 by 2, this becomes 7 by 2. Now 16 plus 23 will give you 39. 39 by 2, and this is 4 plus 7, 11. 11 by 2. So the answer should become 39 by 11. So it should be the first option. The answer should be the first option. Let's move on to the next one. It's a question based on time and work. What's given here? Akash and Bikash work on alternate days. They work on alternate days, with Akash starting on the first day. Akash does 12.5% of the total work on the last day and finishes the work. If Akash alone can do the work in 6 days, then which of the following can be the number of days in which Bikash alone can do the whole work? Now 12.5 means 1 by 8. So let's assume a value which is completely divisible by 8 as well as 6. So let's assume that the total work is 24x units. Akash, Bikash. Now Akash finishes 12.5% of the total work on the last day. 12.5 means 1 by 8. 1 by 8 of 24 is how much? 3x. So he'll finish 3x of the work on the last day. He started the work, that means he'll work for 1 extra day. So out of 24x, Akash will do 3x on the last day. That means how much work is left? Is 21x units work is left. And it's also given that he can do the whole work in 6 days. 24x units in 6 days, that means his 1 day's work must be 4x units. Now I don't know for how many days they'll work, that is not given. 21x units of the work is done in either 2 days or 4 or 6 or 8 or 10, and after that Akash will work for 1 more day and he'll finish the remaining 3x. So if we assume that the whole work was finished in 2 days, that means on the first day Akash will do 4x units and the total work left was 21x. So Bikash will do 17x units work. He'll do 17x of the units of the work in 1 day. And what do you need to calculate? Total number of days in which Bikash alone can do the work. What was the total work? 24x. In 1 day he can do 17x work. That means total days required by him will become 24x by 17x. That is 24 by 17. This is the first case. If we assume that the whole work was finished in 4 days. So 2 days Akash will work. He'll finish 8x units out of 21. So the remaining 13x units will be finished by Bikash in 2 days. So his 1 day's work should be 6.5. So his efficiency will be what? 24x units work will be done by him alone in how many days? 24x by 6.5x days. This is the second one. If we assume that the work was finished in 6 days. So 3 days Akash will work, 3 days Bikash will work. In those 3 days Akash will do 12x units. Now how much work is left? 9x. This 9x will be done by Bikash in 3 days. 9x will be done by him in 3 days. That means his 1 day's work should be 3x. So if we try to do 24x units of the work at the rate of 3x per day, he'll take how many days? 8 days. And if you look at the option, 8 is there. So this can be possible. So an answer can be third option. Next one. The radius of the cross section of the pipes P1 and P2 are 7 and 14. Water flows through P1 at a constant rate of 10 meters per second and it can alone fill a tank in 2 hours. If P1 is used as the inlet pipe and P2 as the outlet pipe. And the tank gets filled in 4 hours. What is the rate of water flow through P2? Now, there's a formula to calculate the volume. What is the volume? So volume is area into speed. Area is what? Meter square. Speed will give you what? Meters per second. So I'll get the answer in terms of what? Meter cube per second. So that much volume can be filled per second. If you read the question carefully, you can see that this pipe alone can fill the tank in 2 hours. But today it will take 4 hours, just double time, because of this P2 which is working as an outlet pipe. That means in these 4 hours, the first pipe P1 can fill 2 tanks. But effectively only one tank was filled because one tank was emptied by the pipe P2 in 4 hours. So we can say that the efficiency of P2 is exactly half the efficiency of P1. So P2 can empty one tank in 4 hours. It can empty one tank in 4 hours. Let's calculate the capacity of the tank. How do we calculate that? What is the area? Let's calculate it for P1. 7 is the radius. So area becomes pi into 7 square into what should be multiplied here? Speed. I'll multiply it by speed, that is 10. So I'll get 22 by 7 into 49 into 10. 10 is the speed here. So I'll get this in terms of what? Meter cube per second. This 7 will cancel it out. So meter squares per second, meter cube per second. This much volume can be filled by pipe P1 in how many hours? 2 hours. This is multiplied by speed. So in 2 hours it can fill how much? This was per second volume. So 2 hours, so I'll multiply it by 2 into 3600. So I'll get the capacity of the tank. The 7 was cancelled out. What I'll get here? 22 into 7 into 2 into 3600. This must be the capacity of the tank. And this much tank can be emptied by the second pipe P2 in how many hours? 4 hours. So what is the rate in meters per second of the water flow through P2? How do we write it? I'll say pi r square, that is 14, into speed, I don't know, take it equal to v. And this was on for how many hours? 4 hours. So 4 into hours should be converted into seconds. So this much volume can be filled, can be emptied by pipe P2 in how many hours? 4 hours. And we know that it will empty how much? The amount which can be filled by the first tank in 2 hours, means the capacity of tank. So we will equate it with pi 7 square into speed was 10 into 2 into 3600. This will give you the speed of the second pipe. I hope this is clear to everyone. Thank you.